What's up, everybody? So my name's Ruth with rwgresearch.com, quantumgravityresearch.org. So I have been video editing with the same piece of hardware, the laptop that I've been using for a long time. And officially I finally got a new laptop. Half and half. We split the cost between my boss and I, and we bought the most reasonably priced laptop. So I figured, since I'm doing it, I'm going to do a little review and an unboxing. Okay, so here's what I've got. This is a ASUS, if I said that right, G series. And this is a gaming notebook, but I'm not going to be gaming. I am going to be video editing. So I plan on doing all HD video and probably getting into 60 frames a second, but 30 right now. And yeah, 1080p. So this should do the job. So this is a GL551J. That's about all you need to know, I guess. So let's unbox this baby and then do a little review. Now, one of the things I'll be doing with this laptop is installing this dual drive. And the reason that I have this dual drive is because I wanted the functionality of an SSD, but I didn't want to pay for the extra cost and only have 120 or 256 gigs of memory or hard drive space. So this has a 1 terabyte solid state drive in it, or I mean a 1 terabyte standard hard drive in it, and I'm going to be replacing it with this. So I'm reviewing this in a different video, just FYI. So let's open this bad boy up. I normally don't make these type of videos, but I figured since I have this thing, I might as well do it. Oh man, that's kind of bad design. That's already horrible. Look, I can't get the box open because the handle hits. What kind of design is that, guys? I'm not going to keep it in a box. Oh look, man, these people spend too much money on boxes. Sometimes that's all I have to say. Look at this. The box opens up, hangs nicely. Nice laptop. Little pull tab. Alright, so there's the laptop itself. Actually, it's pretty light. Oh, it doesn't have a battery in it yet either. Slide it out of here. Now, this particular model actually seems fairly cheap to me, but I went with it because of the value. Alright, so there's the laptop itself. Had the nice sheet between it so it didn't get scratched. Now it does have an aluminum case, but it looks and appears to be plastic, which most of this is plastic. But the top is aluminum and the metal frame all the way around is actually aluminum. So let's see what else we got in the box. Another nice pull tab. Got the cable tie. Couple of instructions here. Pull tab over here. Brick power supply. That's a beefy supply. 19 volt, 6.32 amps. Wow, that's a beast. Hopefully it doesn't get as hot as the rest of these things. And the battery looks like a tiny little thing. And the power cord. That appears to be it. So quite the box for a computer, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, plug this thing in and see what we get out of it. Bottom end first. There we go. Now, one of the reasons why I really like this computer, and oh look, this cable tie is all crazy like. And this got this wrapped around here, you can't get it off. Oh man, okay, there we go. Short cord, that's not always my favorite, but hey, kind of is what it is. Just has a fairly lengthy cord on it. Man, that's a stiff old thing. That is a very stiff cord. It's got a nice little rubber dongy on it. Alright, so let's plug this thing in, see if we can get power to this. So some of the specifications on this guy. Oh, I don't see a power light. Man, no power light. Plug is on the side. Alright, before I do that, let's show you the sides. So over here we've got a USB and a headphone jack at the end. That's nice, towards the front. There is a DVD drive in here, burner as well. And there is a, I don't know actually what that is, HDMI. I don't know if that's an HDMI mini, I don't know what that plug right there is, to be honest. It's got a little P next to it. It does have a internet jack, which is good, and two more USBs up here, and those appear to be SS, so those are the fancy ones. SD card slot in the front, which is a requirement for me. I really needed that. The only downer for me is it's got Windows 8. I'm not looking forward to that. So let's turn it on and see if it works. Ooh, power on. So let me read you some of the specifications of this, so you know. I don't even know if it's on here. We might have to look. Yeah, it appears it's not even on this box. So basically, this has 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 gigabyte video graphics card in it. NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960M. Okay, so that's the graphics card. Will work with the Adobe that I plan on using. So I've been using a different software for video editing. I've been using Magix. It was cheap, reasonable. It seemed like the best thing at the time. And unfortunately, I don't like it at all. It's not very good. So we'll set this bad boy up. Alright, I'm going to run through the whole setup procedure and then we'll check the specs. Alright guys, so I've currently set this thing up, and I just wanted to kind of show you the internals here of what is actually in this thing. So right there you can see processor, the RAM, the system, 16 gigs of RAM. It's an i7-4710HQ CPU. From what I understand, it'll actually run at 3.5 gigahertz, overclocking it. Not quite sure how that works, the accelerator on this thing. So that's that. Alright, so here is just a list of the device manager. You can see it has a NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960M and an Intel graphics. So it's a dual deal. And there you can see the processor. Should probably open the network adapters so you can see those. Really, those are the most important I'm concerned about. Let's go ahead and open one more thing. Let's do the universal serial bus. Alright, so that's what we got on the US serial bus, USB serial bus. So that's it. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be installing this. That's in a different video. I'm going to be using this for a while, and I'm going to basically, for video editing, for what I'm doing, I will get back with this video after a couple of weeks of using it and tell you how I like it. Okay, so a quick note on the review of this computer. I did switch out the hard drive for the solid state drive, and the boot time dramatically went up. So I'm going to guess that the user experience for me is going to be considered solid state drive, not a standard HDD. Okay, so just remember that whenever I do this. So I'll be back in a few weeks when I get done experience this laptop. I will say already, it's actually thinner than I thought. It looked really thick, but you know, this is not too bad. It's got like an extra space here in the front where the hard drive actually is right here. That's why that's like that. But so far, just flipping it over and switching stuff out and just checking it out, it's not bad so far. So see you in a couple weeks. Well, it's been approximately a month and a week maybe, and I've been using this particular laptop that I'm doing a little bit of review on, and that's it. So let me kind of tell you some of the pros and cons that I found out so far from using this laptop. So far, this laptop for video editing, again, I'm doing this review for video editing. I basically wanted to show people out there who are interested in buying this laptop just for editing purposes. You could probably play games as well, of course, but just for video editing and using Adobe as the video editor. So the first thing I want to actually share with you really quickly is on here, using Adobe. Okay, there's an option. Let's see if I can get even closer. There's an option under Preferences, and you can actually see here, if I click this, these are the options that you have. So this actually uses the GPU acceleration. CUDA is what it's called, or if it only supports Open CL, so that was GL, but I guess not. If it only supports that, you can use that as well. But if your computer is not supported from the graphics card acceleration, it will only allow you to choose the Mercury playback software engine only. Now, one time this crashed, and it wouldn't allow me. It basically said I couldn't use anything else. I have no idea why it would have done that, but it did that. So anyway, so that's how that works. That's why I picked this laptop with this graphics card. It's a GeForce GTX960M. Okay, that's the reason I picked this guy, because I could use it for playback. Now that's only for playback. You can't use the GPU for rendering, but it renders stuff extremely fast. Absolutely no problem. So some of the pros, I guess I'll just go through some of the things I like. Basically, if you're going to be doing video editing, so far I've been using the SSD. I put that hard drive in here, which is a dual drive. It's got SSD and a standard mechanical hard drive in it. Now, it's a smaller hard drive. It's a 120 gigabyte SSD, 1 terabyte regular FHD. And basically, whenever I import video to Adobe, it copies it over to the SSD in its own format. It kind of converts it to where it can read and write faster using its own internal converting type situation there. So all the stuff on this side of my screen is basically stuff that's been copied in. It's on the SD. So I'm actually storing everything on my FHD and then reading and writing from my SSD through this program and not doing it manually. Then later I got to go manually remove all the files from that particular hard drive space, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. It seems to work. As far as the program and running and everything like this, I'm using the 2000. This is Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2014 version, and it is the basically pay by month subscription type situation, which seems to be the best option for me. So, what about the actual laptop? One of the things that I do not like, and that is pretty simple actually. You would think that this would be a good thing. So the keyboard is illuminated, right? So from here it looks great. And in the dark, you know, it looks really great. You can really see that. But when you're at an angle like this, it just drives me kind of crazy. But I got used to it, but it isn't really all that nice. So let me go into a darker room. So let's say you're using this from here and it looks great, and you can adjust the brightness. Alright, so you can make it dim or you can make it bright. But if I have this computer sitting back, plugged into a monitor, and I'm at an angle, this is what I see. And I think that's kind of common with most keyboards that are backlit like this. So that's just something that I've noticed that I've actually kind of gotten used to, but just something to think about. It's not really something that would change my mind on buying it. But yeah, that's something that I've noticed. The other couple of things that are not good for me is whenever I use a microphone, I just have a standard Audio-Technica mic here, single channel, and this laptop only has the single input for it's got 4 pins on it, right? So I had to purchase a splitter that has the microphone and headphone output, which is fine. It works great, but it's just kind of like one extra piece I had to get. Couldn't just plug in the mic. It's kind of a piddly one, but hey, I thought I'd put it in there. So one of the other things is that this port on this side, which I wasn't for sure what it was, that little guy is a display port, and I've actually been using it from display port out to the digital, the DVI. So I've been using that conversion cord for most of my monitors, and it works great. This little clip's kind of interesting for the Ethernet cable. It's just kind of interesting. It seems to work all right. One thing I really like about this laptop is it is super quiet. It's very quiet. So the machine that I've been using is this. The machine that I used to be using is this old Dell here, and this thing's actually a great dual core computer. But this thing running, even when I'm just using it normally, is very loud and annoying. The fan is very loud and very annoying. This guy, even when running at full power, I can really not notice the fan running at all, which is impressive to me. So I really like that portion of this laptop. That makes it really nice. One of the bad things was one day I am in the dark and I go to plug in my headphones and I miss, and I plug it right into the USB socket. Bam! Short out the power supply. I missed. I plugged it right in there. It was dark. I just felt over here. I plugged it in, shorted it out. The whole computer shut down. It recovered just fine, but that was kind of something you might need to pay attention to. Kind of a total accident. I haven't even used the disk drive. I'm sure that it works, but I haven't used it. Other than that, as far as performance is concerned, this thing is great. This thing works really well. It has absolutely no problem doing video editing, and I have been editing stuff that's considered the 4K, but it's just under 4K, but it's still ultra definition. It's like 3 something by, I don't remember the other, but not true 4K. The screen isn't even 4K. But I have edited a few pieces of video with that, and it seems to work fine. But most of my stuff is just 1080p, 30 and 60 frames per second. It seems to work just fine. No big deal there. So all in all, I'm really happy with this laptop for video editing. It works really well. I still don't like Windows 8 very much, but hey, I guess I'll get used to it. Yep, it's lightweight. I mean, it's not heavy, but it's not super light. It's actually a little bit, feels to be a little bit lighter than this guy, and it's a little bit smaller. So yeah, it's lighter. Now originally I thought a lot of this stuff was plastic, and that's one of the things I didn't like. But really the only thing that's plastic is this bottom case. Everything else is actually aluminum. So the top case here is aluminum, and this whole top plate is aluminum. So that's actually really nice. One of the other things I wanted to mention was there's this button for it to go to sleep, and I pushed that one time and popped this guy in my backpack, and when I got home it was in my backpack running for probably about an hour and a half. And when I pulled this thing out, this whole entire laptop, including the keyboard face and all this aluminum, was just super heated. I mean, the thing was just cranking away in my backpack with absolutely no flow, and you could smell that this laptop was hot. I mean, it got very, very hot, and still seemed to function just fine. It didn't have any negativity towards it. But one of the things that I've always learned is that whenever I want to put it to hibernate mode, I actually have to go and select hibernate, or else sometimes it wakes up on its own, and I don't know what the options are. I don't know why it does that. Could be something that I'm doing wrong. I don't really know. All in all, this laptop is it's great for what I want to use it for. It's absolutely no problem. Nice and portable. It doesn't really get that hot on your lap. So if I set this guy on my lap, the vents are down here. It kind of pulls air in from here and pumps it out this side over here. And I have never, like, that other laptop gets so hot that it'll just like burn yourself. This one hasn't really gotten that warm. I will say that the hard drive sits right here, and my palm sits right here. And it occasionally, when it's using the hard drive a lot, it actually is, it gets pretty hot, uncomfortably hot occasionally, but I pretty much always use an external mouse, so haven't really dealt with that. But if you're sitting here using the keyboard all the time, I mean, if you're gaming, you're going to be using the mouse, right? It's probably out here, and then your keys here, so maybe not that big of a deal. I don't use this trackpad much at all. It is a dual touch, so that's kind of nice, but I haven't used it a whole lot. I will say the keyboard, it feels good, but like the keys are pretty compact because you got the number pad here. Some of these keys are compact, and the space bar, every once in a while you can hear it kind of make like a semi squeak, which could be annoying. But all in all, if you are looking for a laptop that you want to do video editing, and you're going to be using Adobe or not, but I just wanted to do this review for Adobe. This is a great laptop. No problems. I like it. I think I'll be using it for years. I hope. We'll see. Alright, peace and love. Have a good day. God bless. Leave a comment if you like it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know what you think. That's it. Bye.